One of the things I love about a city like Chicago and probably New York and some other ones that have been around for a while is that there are these beautiful relief stonework and sometimes metalwork on the buildings, and they're beautiful to encounter and just look at and enjoy, but they're also great sources for drawing. And so I have here some stonework from the Garth Presbyterian Fourth Presbyterian Church in Chicago. This is on the fountain. This image is from a building near the church, and I can't remember what street it was. And these are from the neighborhood that I live in. So again, as I've said many times, these can function as a muse, that is a starting point to create a piece of art. They do not have to be followed realistically or representatively or literally is the word I'm looking for. They can be, but they don't have to be. In this one, I chose a part of the image because I wanted a square, and I wanted to end up with a square, so I chose to go up to there and then up to there on that side. I also decided to go with much bolder color, interpreting that stonework, where I saw flecks of bluish and grayish and reds and so forth. I kind of pushed those colors. I was not terribly happy with this particular piece. I did it in a hurry, and I would be tempted to go back and try it again and perhaps do better with the transitions of the colors. However, it worked very well to transfer it to a coaster, which I had done by Zazzle. Zazzle is an online production company where you can upload your own images and print them on all kinds of things, t-shirts and coasters and mouse pads and you name it. And so in this particular instance, I chose a stone, this is a stone coaster that had these little pockmarks in it, because I wanted intentionally to mute the effects of this image, and it translated very well. You can see how much more muted this is, but it gives the effect of being an old sort of stonework piece all on its own. So that is one possibility if you enjoy sharing your art with friends and family, but they don't have any more wall space, or they're not so inclined to hang artwork from you. This is one option. It's kind of a step up from the ashtray that you make with clay in school. So if that sort of thing doesn't set well with you, then this wouldn't be for you. But this is a functional piece and a way to share your love of art with friends and family. So I have these four images here, and as I say, you could go any direction with them in terms of color. This one is was a metal image. I don't know, maybe copper. It has that nice greenish patina on it. But again, I was choosing to create my own image from it and not necessarily trying to make the color or the effect exactly like that. I just love the shapes and design. So with this one, I went down first with, and again, I just want to say that these are fairly complex images, so you might choose to do just a piece, maybe just that piece, and really focus in. You might choose to do just a line drawing of it, which would actually be attractive. But anyway, for the coloring, I went in with a sort of turquoise, and I wasn't real careful about going across the edges. I did a line drawing first, just because I like to do that as a guide. It's not necessary, but that's the way I work. And so I kind of put this blue turquoisey stuff down, and I liked these whitish balls. They're actually relief things here, and they must have gotten dirty or destroyed, but I kind of liked how they broke into the border. So in my drawing, I'm including all of them, but in this first layer with the color, I didn't go over those. I left those light because they are light, and I left this area uncolored as well. Then to mute that turquoise a little bit, I used a chartreuse or a yellowish green to go over that. And then when I wanted to pump up the darker areas in there, let's see if that's showing up on the, yeah. I went in with a darker blue in these areas that are dark, and pressing quite hard to get some good coverage. It went over the turquoise and the yellowy green very nicely. And I chose, these again are sort of rounded elements and would not have to be rendered that way, but I enjoy doing that sort of thing. So I left this white to correspond with this, and then I went in and did a gradation of dark to lighter and lighter and lighter until I got to the white. And then to get really dark, I went in with some dark purple, or a kind of a plum, and that went over the green and the yellow green very nicely. Another way to go with one of these images is to stay with graphite. You could do that with any of these images, but graphite works really well, and I love to work in graphite. And something like this is a great exercise in practicing tone, getting different shades of gray, and getting a three-dimensional look. This is from the fountain in the Garth at Fourth Presbyterian Church. And so I did a sort of outline as a guide, and this is quite dark. I would have done it very, very lightly, because I want this to all be just tone, just grades of tone. I wouldn't want any of these heavy lines. So, but I did it dark so it would show up in this video. But if I were doing it on my own, and now I'm going to erase some of this and leave a ghosted image, which is another way to go, I would have done these pencil marks very, very lightly. And then go in and with the tone, work on the graded shading of these. I'm putting in this edge here as a sort of tone, and not being real careful about straight edge, because one of the things that's lovely about this stonework is that it is stone. So it doesn't have very sharp edges. They're all very sort of soft and chiseled. So I would just go around to each figure, starting lightly until I'm sure of what I'm showing. So I'm seeing that I can make this outline a little bit darker, and this tail here is not real bright. So I'm just going to indicate that. This didn't get the detail of this particular part of the tail, so I'll put that in now. So I would just work my way around the image until I had what had a sense of relief. Relief, of course, being partially raised image on a flat surface of all different kinds of substances. This would be stone, as well as this. So there are many such images like this around the city of Chicago in the summer when the weather is nice as you walk around the city. See if you can take notice and find some to draw for yourself.